Okay guys, quick update for Bitcoin and all that. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow the Moon Carl. I think he's great. We're all trying to figure out on Twitter what car he's in. Doesn't look like a Maybach, but it's probably an S6 or an S5. So Carl, if you can put us out of your misery and tell us what car you're in, that'd be great. I think he's great. He does a lot of zoom action, incredibly well dressed, chucks in the occasional laugh and here and there. And I think he's great, and he does a lot of fundamental stuff and all kinds of wavy lines and stuff. So I think he's great. I think he's really good viewing. Definitely one to be viewed on the big screen every day. So Carl, if you could tell us what car you have, then that'd be great. I've given here my USD target. So Neo, I mean, obviously 14.5 is probably an understatement on Neo. I've not really projected any lower target. So for those of you who are asking about Neo, you're right. Neo could go lower, but 14.5 is basically right here. So 2496 Bitcoin. You're right. Neo will probably end up testing, I reckon, these pivot lows here as a minimum. So probably 4.3 on Neo, but I think all the other ones are generally quite accurate in terms of the worst case scenario for all those coins. But you're right. Neo. Probably somewhere around $4.50 worst case scenario. So if we just go to Bitcoin, so yeah, the fib time work I've done, the next major low is going to be on the 21st of September, which I've mentioned, and now we're just working this X wave, whether it's a WXYXZ or a WXY, whatever. I don't really care, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's found support once again for the fourth or fifth time now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Depends how many times you want to count it. But every time it's hitting this, buyers are getting absorbed. So buyers were here, desperately trying to hold this level. But the point being, there aren't many buyers left. And eventually this level is going to break, and that's what investors are waiting for, because there's a lot of investors' money here. Even though I do feel 2496 is possible, there's a lot of investors' money waiting at sub 5k, ready to load up for a bit of an altcoin season. And this season that we had here, this 36-day 50 to 80% move and 2-3x in the altcoins, that's what we're kind of waiting for, and investors are waiting for that. Heroes trading £5-10 a day on BitMEX, they don't move the market at all. They're just part-timers, but it's the real investors' money who are waiting here. So even though I do feel it will go to 2,500 eventually, I do feel another altcoin season will be here before that happens, probably sooner than we think. So that's what we're all waiting for. So looking at it on a very, very short term, well, let's just look at it on the weekly. Let's just get some larger time perspective. So obviously we've been in this bear market now for over 7 months. RSI is slowly coming down towards 30, which is what happened back in 2014. The trend is still obviously down. The 50 EMA is now curling over, and the 8 EMA is below the 50 EMA. So everything points to a continuation of the trend, and we're not going to go higher significantly until we go lower. So that's just the larger count. If we go on the daily here, this 200, this little bad boy has been pushing the price down so many times. I mean, 4-5 times. That's going to end up coming to around 7,500 pretty soon, and end up hitting this triangle line, this log line here. So that will provide some resistance. So we mentioned in the group there was an inverted head and shoulders. So left shoulder, right shoulder, head, right shoulder. The target for that would obviously be 68, 69, which is where the previous resistance is. So are we just going to get a move into here, and then it's going to be way too much resistance, then we're going to get another push down? Or are we just going to do something like this, end up hitting this trend line? That 200 is probably going to end up approaching down as well, and then we're going to get a movement down. I think it's now optimistic, although it is still possible. I think it is optimistic for a move above 84.75. It's looking optimistic. I mean, still, on the table, still this is a possible count where where, you know, all that is just an A, that's a B, and they're going to swing fail it here, then they're going to swing fail it all the way here, then they're going to bring it back down. But I think that's very, very optimistic. I'm not really buying that anymore, just because the heavy sell volume has come in the last 2 weeks. I'm not really buying that. I mean, I believe it is possible. I've seen these patterns happen before where they swing it all the way down one side, then all the way on the upside, then they end up smashing it back down again. But that seems now very, very optimistic. But it's definitely something to have in the back of your mind, just in case it does happen. But yeah, short term, inverted head and shoulders, 68 and then come down, or it might just stay around here, then it might go up and then come back down. But either way, you know, every investor, the safest thing to do is just to wait for a decisive break of this level. And if VPVR is anything to go off, Bitcoin's going to move pretty fast. Make sure I'm still recording this. Bitcoin's going to move pretty fast through this low volume action here, because there is no volume to here. So yeah, that's it really. So I still think it's a little bit risky to be jumping in, but I believe an altcoin season will be here soon enough. But I can't justify converting fiat to Bitcoin at this price, knowing that we're so close to this level. Every time a level gets hit, it gets weaker. It does not get stronger. It gets weaker, and the price tends to break it, retest it, so support becomes resistance, and then it's like, okay, fine, no more buyers left, let's mark it down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, it depends how you want to look at it, but it's been hit at least 4 times, if not 6 times. There's only so many times this level can get hit. And as I said, this log line is going to play a part, this resistance and the 200-day moving average. So price is going to get really trapped here in the space of a few $1,000s, and that's too risky for an investor to be trading that. Fine, this was okay to trade, even this move here, potentially this move here, but price is getting so contracted, it's way too risky. So and all the big boys are waiting here, sub 5k. So yeah, that's it really, not much else to add. Also, just on the weekly chart, I mean, we've spoken about this before, Bitcoin tends to do this quite a lot. So if you're trading this market, understand Pareto's principle, which I keep on going back to. 20% of the time our stock is trending, right? So a nice little trend up or down, and then 80% of the time it's just doing sideways nonsense, building up a cause. So the point being, after 2 weeks off expansion, we're likely to get some sort of doji action this week, probably an inside candle. So for you guys who have made a lot of money on the short side here, there's probably no need for you to get too excited this week, but I'm sure you guys already know that already, because I've told you that before. So that's just something to know. You've got to know when to trade and when to just leave the market, because you know, you make most of your money on these volatile moves, but you're going to get frustrated in the sideways consolidation. So there's no need to be trading this week, I don't think, knowing that's probably going to happen. And that's very typical. I mean, after a large move down, you're always going to get some sort of expansion. I mean, obviously it can still move up and down, it can form some sort of bear flag, but what I'm saying is you won't have the volatility that you got last week, and it's volatility that makes traders excited. So yeah, it could form a bit of a bear flag, some sort of bear flaggy pennant sort of thing, and it's going to hit this once again. Then we'll have to see, you know, is it just going to hit this and then hit this, then hit this? Is it just going to do this and then break, or is it just going to break straight through? I mean, either way, price is getting really trapped here between, you know, 1 or 2,000, like maximum between 6,000 and 7,000. So we're in the space of $1,000. So anything could happen here, but everyone's waiting for that break. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. So yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that. Trying to figure out what car Carl has, but Carl, definitely, I'm a huge fan, absolutely huge fan. So yeah, continue doing what you're doing. I'll look forward to your videos every day. Good laugh. Okay, so I'll catch you guys soon. Good luck if you're trading and investing. For me, it's a break of 59, and then things get very, very exciting, because that would be a massive panic sell-off, and then you know, things get very exciting. Even though I do feel eventually we will go lower, I'm waiting for this altcoin season. Anyway, I'll leave that to you guys. You can join the group if you like. Shopify store, everything's there. All my trading material, educational material and whatnot. Use Bitcoin New if you want a 50% discount. And I'll catch you guys soon.